Hi, I'm Annie Fitzsimmons. I'm your Washington REALTORS legal hotline lawyer, and today's video is another in our series on mistaken identity forms version. And today we want to talk about the confusion of listing brokers in particular, but it could be a buyer broker writing a counteroffer, but let's focus on listing brokers because we've been focused on buyer brokers. So let's talk about listing brokers in this video. Listing broker wants to write a counter offer to the buyer's offer. And instead of pulling out a Form 36 to write the counter offer, listing broker accesses a Form 34, a blank addendum, and writes the counter offer, has seller sign all of buyer's offer, initial the addenda, initial the Form 34 that has the counteroffer terms, and sends it all back over to the buyer broker. Now compare that to the scenario where listing broker properly uses the Form 36, the counteroffer addendum, writes out all of the identical terms for seller's counteroffer, has seller initial that, also signs the buyer's purchase and sale agreement, initials all of buyer's addenda, puts it all together and sends it back over to the buyer broker. Is there a big difference? There is a huge difference. And the huge difference all comes from very few words set forth in the introductory paragraph of those two forms. Form 36, the counteroffer addendum, says in the introductory paragraph that this counteroffer addendum or this counteroffer incorporates all of the terms of buyer's offer except as those terms are modified through seller's counteroffer set forth below. So with the boilerplate language in the introductory paragraph of the Form 36, the counteroffer addendum, we know that this is a counteroffer and that buyer's offer is not accepted as written. Instead, it is seller's counteroffering buyer's offer and modifying it as set forth on the counteroffer addendum. So there's no way that there could be an argument made that seller has accepted buyer's offer because seller has very clearly countered buyer's offer as described in the boilerplate introductory language found only on Form 36. Compare that to the situation where seller signs all of buyer's offer paperwork, signs the Form 21, initials the addenda, and sends all of that back over to buyer broker along with a Form 34 addendum that sets forth those terms. In that scenario, what has listing broker done on seller's behalf? Arguably, listing broker has had seller accept buyer's offer because there's no modifications made on the face of or through a counteroffer form to buyer's offer. Seller simply signs buyer's offer. And then listing broker provides, along with seller's signature on buyer's offer, a separate addendum. Now, what does that addendum say at the top? That addendum at the very top, the boilerplate introductory paragraph says, this addendum is attached to and made part of that purchase and sale agreement dated between buyer, seller regarding the property at. This addendum is attached to and made part of that agreement. In other words, we already have an agreement and this addendum is going to attach to it, but it's only got seller's initials on it. So it's not binding unless buyer also initials it. But seller and buyer have already agreed to the terms set forth in the purchase and sale agreement and its addenda. So if buyer doesn't agree to the terms set forth on this new Form 34 that's supplied by the seller and the listing broker, then the Form 34 is simply not part of the agreement. It can't modify the terms of the agreement. At a minimum, the buyers have a fight. The parties may have a fight on their hands as to what is the meaning of this Form 34 that comes back to the buyer along with the seller's signature on the buyer's offer. Buyer or listing brokers, you avoid the fight, which of course is your goal when you're held to the standard of care of a lawyer, when you select the form to use. You avoid the fight by selecting the correct form. The correct form in this instance is a Form 36 counter offer addendum. Never, ever use a Form 34 blank addendum in place of a Form 36 counter offer addendum. They are not interchangeable forms. That is a case of mistaken identity with respect to those two forms. If you have questions on this topic or any other, log into the Legal Hotline Library on warealtor.org and ask a question. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for being a Washington REALTORS member.